Hello and welcome to Student Event Requests and 25 Live Training Guide. This training is by University Events and I am the Events and Scheduling Coordinator with University Events. Today we will review basic RSO event planning information, a review of navigating 25 Live, how to search for locations, submitting an event request, and then basic response timelines once your request has been submitted. So what is 25 Live? 25 Live is Mason's central reservation system for reserving spaces on campus. All events must be scheduled in 25 Live per policy 1103, and all events must follow the guidelines that are laid out in policy 1103. Some basic information for RSOs is that there are 2 assigned 25 Live representatives per RSO. You can only be assigned as a 25 Live representative to one RSO at a time, even if you are a member of multiple RSOs. We recommend that you book rooms as early as possible. RSOs and university departments host many events, which means that spaces fill up quickly, so booking as early as possible is best policy. For basic Office of University event resources, please review the FAQ website for the answers to many of your space needs and basic questions. Need to know info. Requests for event spaces are on a first-come, first-served basis only. Submitting your requests as early as possible is best policy. Any requests that are submitted within 2 business days of the event will be denied. The event and the locations or resources requested are not confirmed until you have received an email confirmation from an event scheduler. No-shows will be charged a fee. Submitting a 25 Live request does not mean the space is reserved or the equipment is available. It is only a request. Some spaces may have a fee associated with it. These are typically for student events, student center run spaces, such as the Corner Pocket. Spaces may be requested during building's open hours, so overnight reservations are not available for registered student organizations. Some basic notes for organizations. Organizations may not reserve a space for another. RSOs may not reserve a space on campus for another organization's benefit. An RSO reservation is to benefit their organization only. So some examples. An RSO reserves a space for another RSO. This is not possible. RSOs can only reserve for themselves, so make sure to submit your own event request. You cannot trade spaces. So if you're looking to trade spaces with someone because your event isn't happening anymore, that organization will have to submit their own event request. An advisor cannot reserve a space for an RSO, and an RSO reserving a hub ballroom for a blood drive. This is not an event that we can necessarily do. This would have to be planned as an external event. An RSO cannot reserve a space for an event being run by an external organization. However, a vendor or an external client can reserve their own space through the Office of University Events. They will have to reach out to us and they can submit their own event request for an external event. So now we will move into basics of 25 Live. So here I'll take you to the home page of 25 Live. So when you receive your information from me on how to sign in, because your account has been activated, you'll click sign in up in the top here. And then you can type in your net ID that you're given. It's your GMU email without @gmu.edu, and then your password. So here we can see the home page of 25 Live. You can see these helpful links on the side. So you have your search for events, locations, resources, organizations. You can star locations, and you can see your upcoming events. So now, to the first step of creating an event, you want to find a location. and you want to plan what time and see what event spaces are available. So the best method of doing this is going up here to your tab for go to search. And then you can see these links are still here. So say you're a tier 2 organization and you want to plan a large event in the hub ballroom. To check availability, you can just type in the space that you want to find. And then here's hub ballroom. So when you come to this page, it'll take you to details and you're able to see this basic information. So to see availability, click this tab here, Availability Daily. And this gives you the possibility to see all of these dates and all of the availability for the space. Make sure to click Include Requested to see the time that's available. And then you can see these are events that have been scheduled in the hub ballroom and the times that they have these spaces reserved for. So now we want to move to an event request submission. So you'll go up to here for event form. And here is the page for booking an event space. So make sure to be descriptive with your event name and your event title. So putting general body meeting or something that's very short and doesn't describe what your event is not necessarily helpful to us, and we may need to get more information, which can slow down the event process. So make sure when you're submitting your event request that it says student organized for your event type. And then for primary organization, you'll want to make sure that you put in the RSO that you're a part of. So for this instance, we'll say that I'm part of student test organization. So we submit this here. Now we move to expected head counts. Make sure to input the expected head count that you truly do believe that you will have at this event. So for this would be a large event, so we expect to have 250 people. Now we move to an event description. So please be sure to be as detailed as possible and lay out all the description of what you plan this event to be. Now for your event date and time. So we plan to hold this event on Saturday the 6th. And remember to make sure that when you submit this, it's not within these next 2 business days because your event will be denied. Now, for events, dates, and time, we plan to hold this event for 2.5 hours. And then here is a helpful tab. This is additional time. This gives you pre-event and post-event time. Pre-event and post-event time will give you the opportunity to have some setup time for yourself and your organization. So say you want to have 2 hours to yourself to set up and take down. Now we move to event locations. So we want to select the event location that we best believe will suit our event. So here we'll see all of these spaces that are available. So we can search up, remember we were going to do hub ballroom. So once we see it, you see the hub ballroom here, and it says available for request. So when we request this, we can then choose a specific layout in here that we want to have. So you can see all these different types of layouts that come with spaces. So for this example, this is Hub Ballroom. This would be a large event space. But for classrooms, what we want to do, we can search classroom and it'll bring up two types. You'll see this: Classroom Fairfax Student Computer and Classroom Fairfax Technology. RSOs cannot request specific classroom spaces. So these are the two opportunities that you have. You want to request this, and then down here in your description, in your event comments, please submit which event classroom you want. So in this case, you're submitting a request for this classroom space, or Horizon, or Thompson. So for submitting a classroom, you'll search classroom. You can choose between one of these two, and then once you've added that request, you put in the description or your event comment, which type of classroom you want. So now going back to our event, if we're doing an event space and not a classroom, so now we move on to all of these details. This is the most important part of your event request. Please make sure that you're as descriptive as possible for your event attributes. So here are the many types of event attributes that will come with your event. Are you applying for SFB money? Do you plan to have funds being collected? Do you plan to have food or catering? So make sure that you select one of these for each one so you can be as descriptive and detailed as possible. So say for this instance, our event plans to have SFB funding and catering, and you plan to have dominoes. Now we move to this section. This is one of the most important parts of your event request in your event attributes. Please be descriptive in your audiovisual needs. For instance, you may need a projector and microphones. Some of these spaces don't necessarily come with these things, so please be sure to lay out these needs that you have, and then we can best address these if possible. Now we move to preferred layouts. As we saw up here earlier, there are many types of layouts for event spaces. So you may want a classroom layout. You can either set it up here, or you may want rounds. You can either set it up here, or you can put it in here and be descriptive, or you may want a custom layout. So for a custom layout, you can just describe everything that you need. And then we can best try to serve by reaching out or taking the description that you have, and we can create these custom layouts for you. Now we move to event on-site contacts, faculty advisors. So for each event, you will always have an event on-site contact. Make sure you always provide name, phone, and email. And then if you're a tier 2 organization, you will always have a faculty advisor. Please always make sure to put your faculty advisor. Some tier 1s may also have faculty advisors, so please be sure to provide this information as well if you do have one. Now this is the most important one of your event attributes, organization codes. So you will receive your organization code when you re-register your RSO. Without an organization code, you cannot submit your event. We will deny your event if you do not have an organization code in your event request. And then here are some of the remaining event attributes. Please make sure to put this information in here. Say, for instance, you plan to have a speaker. You plan to have someone come in who's an external person coming from Deloitte or some other organization. You can just put in and then we will reach out and we will put a guest lecture form for them to fill out, and you can send that to them. And any final things that you have for your event, please make sure that you put them in here. So if you have any needs that you aren't able to express in these, please make sure to put that in there. And then once you're done, you can hit I agree and then save. When you've submitted this, we now move to the final overview of RSO events. You'll see the event page. It'll look like this. It'll have your event name. It'll list tentative because all events are tentative until they've been taken care of. And then you'll have your event reference number. It will start with 4 digits. It'll always be the year. So for this instance, it would be 2026, and then it will be 6 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Make sure to note your event reference number. This is a very important number, and you want to keep track of this so you can always search up your events by event reference number in 25 Live. And then make sure, is your event tentative or confirmed? Once your event has been taken care of by one of our staff in university events, it will say confirmed, and you'll receive an email that says your event has been confirmed. If it's still tentative, make sure to reach out to us if it's been a very long time and it hasn't been taken care of. But also, it could mean that your event is a checklist event, and that's been left tentative. Checklist events are tier 2 events only, and these are typically very large and very involved events. So if you see tentative and then you see checklist assigned, here up in the top right corner of the event submission page, that means your event is a checklist event. And check your email. You'll receive an event that lists the information that you need. It will say a special major checklist event has been assigned to this event, and checklist events are due 30 days prior to your event date. But if all the information looks great, then you're good to go and your event has been scheduled. So here are basic event request timelines. University events require 3 to 5 business days to process requests for event spaces. This is university event policy, and this will always be held up. All submitted event requests are processed in the order that they are received. Any request put in for event space within 2 business days will be automatically denied. Typical turnaround for events requests will be in a 2 to 3 business day window. However, events that are outdoor or checklisted events require extra time as we require more information. Checklist events must have checklists submitted 30 days before their event date. So please submit large event requests that will be checklisted as early as possible to allow for completion of checklists. And this has been the training for event request submission and 25 Live training for students. Thank you. If you need any help or have questions, please contact the University Events Office at gmuevent@gmu.edu or reach out over phone at 703-993-2853. Or you can always reach out to myself, Jacob Conley, as I'm the Events and Scheduling Coordinator with the University Events Office. You can reach me at jconnell@gmu.edu or reach me by phone at 703-993-4348.